Hey, everybody, and welcome back to another exciting episode of the VOD Squad. This is the show where we talk about streaming technology. This is episode 140, July 10th, 2019. I am Clyde, and today I am joined by Jimmy Trammell.
Hello, everybody.
Matthew Ross.
Hello.
And Michael Heston.
Hello, everyone.
How's everybody doing today?
Not too shabby. Not too shabby for a Wednesday.
Yeah. It is, it's always Wednesday.
Yeah, that's the one problem is like you can't say about this exciting thing you did today because it's Wednesday. I didn't do anything excited. I got up and went to work. I came back.
Survived.
What do you want me to say?
I
Exactly.
survived hump day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the best part about
exactly
Wednesday.
how I feel.
The best part about Wednesday is you wake up to Thursday.
Yep. Halfway to Friday.
Yeah.
Well, tomorrow is my Friday, but that's only because I have to basically drive 8 hours. I have to drive down to Des Moines after work tomorrow to do some work and then drive back. That's 4 hours away, so it's going to be a long day.
Yeah, actually, a week from tomorrow, I'll be flying out to California for a few days.
Well, you should have gone last week, and then you could have got to go on the roller coaster ride known as Earthquakes.
Hey, you never know. You might catch that ride again.
Yeah.
See, we don't name earthquakes anything clever, because then you could have ended that with something fun.
Yeah, I would say it's a good thing they don't name earthquakes like they name hurricanes. That would be just stupid.
Well, no, actually they do, but they're named by the location. Everybody remembers the Fullerton, or the Northridge earthquake, out there. See, this was a Ridgecrest. This was a Ridgecrest earthquake. And for those of you that don't know California geography, as my dad pointed out to me the other day, he said, so Ridgecrest, if you're out at China Lake, which is a military installation where they do rockets and stuff, missiles and bombs, if you're headed south towards LA, out of China Lake, the very first Wiener Schnitzel you come to, that's Ridgecrest.
Mm-hmm.
And that's important. Ridgecrest is important because, like I said, that is the very first Wiener Schnitzel you will find in the desert.
Yeah, just like Al-Anon says, I hear earthquake stars the rock. Of course, if you're an old guy like me, you remember it being Charleston Heston.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember earthquake starring the people that were trapped inside the bridge during the World Series, 89.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the Bay Bridge, is what it was.
Yeah, I said, though,
San Francisco.
Clever name, not just name it after the place. That's boring. I'm gonna have something exciting and fun, even better than what the hurricanes are. I mean, because that's lame too. And you should only get a name if you're either a 7.0 or higher, or you do $100 million in damage.
7.0, I don't think is ever is rarely ever hit, and those are the ones that take down cities. So
they got a 7.1. So
yeah, this last time around, wasn't there a 7.1 in that?
I was thinking it was a 6.4, but okay.
I've only been in one earthquake, and it's and I remember it was a 6.8, and I know that's the difference between a 6.8 and a 7.0 is significant, but that was pretty good shaking. So
yeah, so
the Bay one that you talked about was only a 7.4 or something like that, I think, but it was a combination of, the building standards were not quite as good as they are now, and also the exact epicenter of that was in such a heavily densely populated. So it all, and because it's orders of magnitude, right? It's like a logarithmic scale. A 0.1 becomes significant when you're talking about something that's already at a 7 point something. So, 7.0 would be pretty bad, but 7.4, 7.5, 7.6 starts to get really bad, especially if it's focused around
the thing I always loved about earthquakes is typically by the time you realize it's an earthquake, it's over. You're like,
yeah, that's about right.
Rock on.
Do you remember Steve Martin's LA story?
Oh,
in the restaurant, the whole restaurant's shaking. The one lady who's visiting California is like, "What is this?" They're all looking at her. Oh, it's just an earthquake. I think it's a 6. Oh, okay.
Well, I've always said, everywhere you could possibly live has some sort of natural disaster. You just have to choose the one that you're most okay with.
Volcanoes.
What's that?
Volcanoes.
Yeah, you've got Mount St. Helens up there. Jimmy's got Jimmy has a crazy rain.
Yeah, whatever.
We've got blizzards and tornadoes. Mike's got tornadoes and blizzard. And hurricanes potentially.
A little bit. See, Austin is this sweet spot that has very little impact of anything, right? Because we're a little too far south to really get much in the way of tornadoes. It's a little too hilly for them to be consistent and to stick around any length of time. And we're a little too inland to really get much more than a little bit of wind and rain from the hurricanes. We're fairly far from the closest fault line. So we're in a pretty good spot as long as we don't get fires. And normally not a problem here, but it theoretically could be.
Mm-hmm. And fire is a natural disaster, naturally occurring.
Yeah.
So
that is probably the most risky thing here. I would think.
But you just have to choose the thing that you're most okay with and live there.
It reminds me of I went to a comedy club one time, and the comedian was up there doing his spiel, and he got to talking about earthquakes, right? They said, one night I was in bed, me and my wife been married for years and all, and said, I don't know, she was asleep and all, so I started masturbating, and then he got a little too excited and masturbated, and he woke his wife up. She jumped up and said, "Earthquake!" And he said, no, it was just me. And she's like, oh, okay. And then,
So then the next time there was an earthquake, she thought he was masturbating, and then she died when the roof collapsed.
And now I'm never going to be able to think of earthquake being said again the same way. Just so you know.
All right. And on that note,
I didn't do the delivery right, but the comedian did it pretty well.
Okay. I should hope so. That's his job. On that note, Matt, what do we got to talk about this week?
So we're going to start with Regal Cinemas. Regal Cinemas is starting their own subscription service this month, and they are going to be setting it up so you can watch any show you want for a low monthly fee, but depending on which fee you choose is which theaters you're going to be able to see it on. The top fee for about $24 will allow you to watch at any of the Regal Cinemas, but the lowest fee of about $18 per month will only allow you to see it in about half of them. And so there will be plenty. There will be ones where you will maybe downtown New York where you won't be able to get to them. So if the lower fee one covers your theater, you can get a cheaper rate. And if you want, and apparently you will get a discount if you're going to go into a theater that isn't covered by it. It also sounds like they're going to require you to pay for a year in advance, so it's going to be pretty expensive as well. So I'm curious what you guys think of this idea.
The annual subscription thing is the killer on that. That's absolutely absurd in my opinion.
But that's the thing that a lot of people complained that when MoviePass first started was, hey, I want an annual. I just want to pay one payment. And then they turned it on, and that was the thing that made me cancel because I thought they were forcing me to go to a one. But so I mean, it's good for some people. It's going to be difficult for others. I'm
okay with them offering it.
Yeah, but I mean, that being the only
option.
option.
Don't make that a requirement, the only option, because, you know, I mean, I don't see movies during the school year. It's too hard to do that, right? So most of the movies I watch are going to be in the summer or maybe like a couple around holidays and stuff like that. But I very seldom go see movies during the actual school year unless it's like something that I'm super excited about. So I could see myself using a subscription service during the summer. In fact, I subscribe to Cinemark and I've kept it and will probably keep it through the summer, at which point I'll cancel it. And, you know, maybe next summer I'll pick it back up again.
I mean, and this idea of restricting by the theater is weird. Yes, granted, most people only go to, like, they have their Regal or their AMC, the one that's close to you that you typically go to because it's convenient. But it seems weird. It's you know, I would understand if the different tiers restricted the types of screen. So, you know, you could only do it on the regular fancy screen for the low tier, and then, you know, the IMAX or LIMAX or whatever 4K on the top tier. But yeah, that's just, I mean, let's say there's only one Regal near me. All the other Regals are in a different part of the metro, and that just happens to be the one that is like blacked out.
Right.
One thing though is I think not all of the Regals are the same company. I think some of them are independently franchised. Which
that would make more sense.
Would explain that. Which is like not all Burger Kings honor the same coupons, you know. But still, you'd think.
But for that starting price of 18 and to get everything 24 a month, that's pretty expensive. I don't know how well that's going to work. Because my Movie Pass tried to bring the prices up to that. They couldn't do that. And
well, that's
they can use it.
That's where Cinemia was. They were $30 for 5 movies or 2 movies a month, you know. I'm currently paying $15 for Movie Pass. I think it is. It was the last thing I got billed. But yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. You know, movies at a subscription. I don't know. I just never. I mean, I can kind of see the appeal if you go to a lot of movies, but I don't know. Just not quite for me. You know, because I don't see that. I don't go and watch that many movies.
Well, I mean, you look at it this way. I've been paying $15 a month, and then I can just go. You know, there are some months where I do see a couple movies. There have been a couple months recently where I haven't seen any. But, you know, $15, I can just be like, you know what? What's playing right now? Okay. And don't even have to think about it.
Nah, I see your point.
Yep. Well, in related news, MoviePass, their website is down. Basically, they've went ahead and taken the website and taken it down and their app down.
Yeah, it's the app. Yeah.
Yeah.
They shut down
taken
the
their app down so that you, the MoviePass viewer, can't use it. And they're making some updates that they say will take several weeks. And that being said, that means if you've been paying to have it, you will not be able to use it until they've finished their updates. Which you know, that must be, to me, that means one of two things: either they've got a huge update that's just takes way too much time for them to they really need to fix this, or they've got a bug they're fixing. But anyways, in the meantime, for anybody who's losing movie time, they're going to be getting credit for their time that they lost. So it seems like this is a big thing for any MoviePass viewer.
I was livid.
No.
the other day. At first, when it popped up, so like I demonstrated, the other day I decided, hey, I've actually got some time, and there's actually a movie I'm interested in seeing. I'll go see the new Spider-Man movie. Rock on. So I click on Movie Pass, and it starts loading like normal, and then this thing pops up and says,
We're sorry.
to improve Movie Pass subscriber experience, we need to improve our mobile app. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So they're going to have an outage. We plan to make this improvement by utilizing an enhanced technology platform, which is in the final stages of completion. Okay. Yeah, normally you do that before you roll it out.
Okay.
To enable these improvements over the coming weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what? We will temporarily interrupt the Movie Pass service for all. And went, the hell? I mean, nobody. I mean, you're going to roll out a new app. You don't take down the existing app. You stand up the new one and then cut over.
Correct, exactly.
So I don't know what they're doing. I don't
want to. So, due to maintenance-related issues, MoviePass services have been put on temporary hold. Once we have resolved these technical problems, the service will be live again. We estimate this process will take several weeks. We sincerely appreciate your patience. No, it's not a temporary thing. This is a longer-term thing. So, sorry, people. If you've been enjoying your MoviePass, you're just going to have to pay for your movies for a little bit.
Or just go back to not seeing movies, which is exactly what I've done.
Oh, so, I'm sorry.
Sorry, Spider-Man, or whoever owns Spider-Man. You're not going to get my money.
Wow.
It's okay. They don't need your money.
In the movie draft, they do.
Yeah.
No, they don't. They're fine. They've been doing some comparisons of the various televisions that are being sold in the U.S. market, and it looks like the new most popular size is 65 inches. This means that when people are going out looking for TVs, the most commonly purchased one is that size. It looks like the 55-inch models are basically not been pretty level of how many they've been selling too. So those two size monitors are probably going to be the de facto standard for the time being. Now this is interesting. There's been a glut of televisions because they're due to trade negotiations between nations. They actually pre-brought a lot of TVs over to the States. And so now a lot of them are on sale because it looks like the possible tariffs may be were never going to happen in the meantime. So there actually are a lot of good sales right now, and it looks like those 65 inches are flying off the shelves.
Well, and also, and we talked about last week, you can get a 65-inch TCL for less than a 55-inch any other brand.
Yep.
So yeah. Like, why would I pay $30 more to get 5 inches less? Said
I don't know.
Many women at patronizing specific bars across the country. Yeah, I don't know. See, I mean, if the price is right, you go with the bigger size.
Okay. All right, moving on. Google has a cool new feature in the Chrome browser. It's only in the Canary build right now, but if you are in the Canary build and you turn on the feature flag, you can get a new button that will appear on your bar whenever a video or audio is being played on any tab inside your browser. That button will open up on a different little player, which will allow you to either pause or skip or continue pressing play on said video, even if it's not on that tab. Basically, it's a universal control for videos and audio that it can detect right inside your Chrome browser.
Good. That's all I have to say is good.
I love this feature.
This is the kind of thing that, I want a flag that says don't play anything until I press play. That would be great. Mm-hmm. That's a flag I want.
That game of you've got a bunch of tabs open and something's playing someplace. Hurry up and find it.
Well, I mean, it was the greatest thing when they finally added the little like speaker
icon
to the tab, so you could easily find the tab that was making noise, and then you could even just turn it off by right clicking and muting it. But yeah, it's infuriating that it even takes up bandwidth for something that you haven't even seen and have no interest in. So me and my highly limited bandwidth, which, when we watch my streaming connections, you can tell actually is a problem, I guess.
Yep. This is a good thing. Thank you, Google, for continuing to innovate your browser, because Internet Explorer. Okay.
Max Trollbot says Autoplay is the herpes of the internet. I thought Twitter was, but sure. That too.
It could be something else. You never know. Like the hepatitis B. Google has announced some new features for their Stadia service that hasn't arrived yet, but things that people have been asking for and wanted to know a little bit more information. For example, they've made some announcements about their controller and how it works. I'm really happy to hear that the controller will work as a standard controller for other devices. It can connect via Bluetooth, for example, to your other devices, for like your computer. And it can support the system will be able to support multiplayer right on the Stadia if you use the Stadia controller. It's got an update to the ability for you to how you're going to be able to hand out codes for it. It does not necessarily, the codes you get for the games are not going to be necessarily tied directly to your Google account, which means you can get a code and then share it, which is kind of nice. And then finally, probably the biggest part of the story here is that Google's promising that even if a company sells you a product on Google Stadia and then pulls that product in the future,
You'll be able to
because you bought it, they will continue letting you play it because it's yours.
Sweet.
So Google needed to just change their marketing a little bit on this. Instead of, hey, we have this cool system and it costs $130 for you to start off with, they needed to come out with it and say it's free. You buy the game and you play it.
So if we have another, what did they in San Andreas? There was the hot coffee hack. So if they find something, or that a disgruntled employee fit something super racist into one of the games and they decide they want to pull the game, Google's like, nope, everybody, you get to keep playing this thing that is an embarrassment to the company.
Well, I'm guessing they'll patch it, and Google will force the patch on you. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying there is potentially scenarios where where it's bad enough that patching it's not an option. They just want to shut down the game. And in that scenario, Google's like, nope. You need to invest in better QC.
Well, this idea that, this is actually a concern I didn't even think about until this story of, hey, what happens when your service goes away? Can you still use your game? And Google is saying, yes, we'll back that.
See,
and that's a good thing.
I'm not worried about the game going away. I'm worried about what happens when Stadia goes away. When it goes Google Plus.
Yeah,
that's a fair concern, and I hope it doesn't. So we'll see. Looks like we've had a little bit of updates to the Sling app. If you have a Roku or an Apple TV, they've increased the top of the screen with a newer interface to showing you more information about your show and a live view of what's going on the top half of your screen of whatever you're currently selecting. And Apple TV users apparently are getting a lot of the pop-ups that they were getting on there to be removed, so you never have to see them again. So it's a lot of those annoyances and a lot of those little features that have been asked by users for both these platforms have been made better. So good on you, Sling.
Sling must have gone on Jenny Jones. They got a makeover.
Oh. Yeah. So here's what might be the big story of the week. Amazon, they got their Fire TV. They've got Amazon Prime, and they've got Google. And Google, they've got their They've got YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mhm.
so Amazon Prime is now working on Android TV and Chromecast officially.
It's about freaking time.
Yeah. And the same being said, on Fire TV, you now have an official YouTube app working.
Well, I'm surprised it took this long.
Right.
That's the one that was inevitable. Yeah, I just can't believe it took almost over a year.
Well, when did those two finally say we're gonna grow up and be nice?
Like a few
I don't remember
months ago.
Yeah, so but before that, yeah, they basically.
But it's
spitting
been
contest.
6 years.
Yeah.
6 years of Amazon refusing to make an app, just flat out refusing to make an app for the Android TV. They already have an Android app for the phone. Android
Yep.
TV, it's the same freaking app. All they have to do is put the code that says, yes, you can use a remote. That's all.
And remember, they actually already had the app for Android TV if you owned an NVIDIA
Yes,
Shield.
they had the Shield. And that's been my frustration. But you know what? Also, USA is finally making a app for the Android TV.
Yes,
The
they
other
are.
company that was just like, we've got an app for every other platform, but we don't want to make one.
Well, it's where we looked at the numbers of the various streaming platforms a week ago, and we saw how Roku was just absolutely dominating. I would argue that both Amazon and Google were harming each other's numbers here a little bit with this spat, while Roku, who basically isn't been affected by this spat, has been rocking the numbers.
So I mean, I don't blame Google for what they did, because it had been years of Amazon using the Google stuff but refusing to make anything for the Google stuff, right?
Okay.
Google platforms. So you can look. I always looked at the YouTube thing as like the like a trade issue.
Yeah, it's a bargaining chip, basically.
Yeah. So it's like, you know what? Fine.
You rub our back,
Yeah,
we'll back rub
you
yours.
don't want to play ball with us, then screw it. We're going to take our stuff and go home. And, and it definitely harmed Android TV, because that's the whole, like I said before, that's the whole reason I ended up on Roku. The only reason I ended up on Roku is because HBO and Amazon Prime, neither one of them would make an Android TV app.
Right.
About a year ago, HBO finally did, maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And then now Amazon finally, which means, hey, I think I might be able to go back to Android TV, but
Android TV still doesn't have a DirecTV.
I don't have DirecTV now anymore.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They canceled my thing, and didn't tell me. So
What the?
Oh, my subscription, because I had that super cheap. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that in the post show. That's the whole thing, and I was pissed.
All right.
But
well,
yeah,
good. We have new stuff coming out, and the Amazon YouTube app. Thank goodness for that. So HBO Max is basically they're taking their platform, and they are going to be the ones who take some of the most popular shows off of Netflix and putting them on the new HBO Max system. Friends being the one that's going to HBO Max, and I believe The Office is going to be going to NBC's Universal's platform in the future as well. So,
well, Seinfeld also, because that's what we talked about this last week as an aside, because Seinfeld is is leaving Hulu.
Right.
At the end of, in 2021 or the end of 2020, and it's going to go to this new service. I got to say, though, I hate the name.
HBO Max? I mean, we've already done everything else Max. What's wrong with HBO Max?
Oh, you mean Cinemax?
No, that's
But
something
HBO
else.
means movies. isn't that what they always said? HBO means movies, and Cine means movies. So Cinemax.
HBO is home box office. Yeah, that's what it.
That used to be their slogan. HBO means movies.
Well, at least they didn't go HBO Plus.
Yeah, I don't like this. I mean, are they trying to compete with Cinemax?
There maybe there's there's so many darn things with the Max name in it.
But the thing is, Cinemax has been around since for 30 years. That's one of those things that when I hear Max, that's what my brain immediately goes to is Cinemax or Skinemax, depending on what you're watching. But
whenever I hear Max, I always think of Get Smart. No, Get Smart.
Oh, 99 99.
Yeah.
Or is he 80? He was 87.
Maxwell
she
Smart.
Was 99.
Yeah. She was Agent 99, yeah.
He was 86 or 87. I don't know.
Something like that, yeah.
But, I think it's smart that AT&T, we kind of touched on this before, that they were going to be making this new service. It, I believe, is going to be at the $16 price point.
Correct.
Which makes a whole lot more sense for all of the stuff that's going to be in it than just HBO Now by itself at that $16 price point. So, I mean, you're getting a lot of TV content, you're also getting Cartoon Network and a bunch of other stuff. So, I'm interested to see where this goes.
Yeah. And I like that Wabbit always thinks of Max Trollbot when he thinks of Max, right?
That's true.
Max Trollbot's just rebranding of Headroom.
All right, and finally, that sound bar that JBL was going to come out with.
Oh, it was this combination they pre-ordered last summer.
Yeah, exactly. And it was going to be this cool thing. It was going to be an Android TV. It was going to be a Chromecast. It was going to be a sound bar.
It was going to
be... No, they delayed it.
Again?
It was going to be a Google Home. No, they were delayed till now. Guess what? It's finally out. And for a low cost of $400. I really wanted this thing, and I was going, I'll pay up to $250 for this thing because this is awesome. I'm not paying $400 for this.
Yeah. Well, I feel super bad for the people that pre-ordered this last year because they were supposed to have it by fall
this time last year.
Well, they pre-order. The pre-order went up this time last year. They were supposed to have it by fall. Back in December or even January, we were reporting that it still wasn't out. And Harman Corporation, they're better than that.
Right.
Harman Kardon, which owns JBL, which owns Infinity, one of my favorite families of products. I would have been interested in this, but $450, no.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll make thousands of dollars.
Yes.
Yeah, well, remember, LG has their own soundbar with Google built in. It's not an Android TV, but it does a lot of the things this does, and I believe you can get it for cheaper. So look at your options, people, if you're interested in something like this.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, the fact that there's no tight voice assistant integration kills it, because who's going to use a remote now?
Yeah.
I do.
Gotta be able to talk to it.
No.
Gotta be able to talk to it.
No. I want tactile.
None of
I don't
this
even
remote
have to
thing.
look. I just peek my arm out from under the covers and do this.
If you get a radio frequency,
you wouldn't even have to get out from under the covers at all if it wasn't for.
Well, I need an excuse.
You didn't have that stupid remote. See, now you're having to do physical labor to watch TV. That's just not acceptable.
No. Usually it's to turn down the volume and turn off the TV because I had been long asleep a long time ago. But yeah, no, I like tactile. And also I live in a house by myself. I don't have to talk to anybody. I don't want to talk to my TV. I like entire days of silence. It is beautiful.
Very cool.
Even when my kids are here, they're in a different part of the house. I don't have to talk to them either. I save all my talking for Wednesday nights and movie party Saturdays.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's the end of that. So, what do we normally do right here? It's been a while.
Normally we thank our patrons.
We say thank you. We love you.
That was creepy.
A little bit. That's okay. We can do creepy.
I liked it, Michael.
It's the best I got.
Well, it's better. It's okay. Last week I called them irresponsible for mismanaging their money by giving it to us. So you may have gone the right path. But yes, to all the patrons that have been supporting us over the last year or so, we thank you. It's been interesting, and you guys are the reason that we continue to do the stuff that we are doing. So, yeah, if you're out there, if you're not currently a patron and you find some kind of value in what we're doing and you want to throw us a buck or whatever, no limit. Patreon.com/thevod Squad. You guys are awesome, and we are glad to have you on board.
Absolutely.
All right. Should we check in with Mr. J?
If we have to.
Oh, well, we don't have to.
No, we probably should.
Well, we don't do things just because we should.
Well, he'll be funny, but I'll be depressed.
Oh, because...
Welcome to your Movie Draft Minute, presented by DiamondClub.tv for the week of July 8th, 2019. I'm your host, Big Voice Jay. So I got kicked out of karaoke last night for singing Danger Zone 6 times in a row. Sound like about too many logins attempts. Let's go to the scoreboard. Team Game Night's in last place with $210.3 million. Team Devon Squad's in 5th place with $322.4 million. Team Drunk Kids Gaming's in 4th place with $366.2 million. Team Retro Misery gets $211 million from Spider-Man Far From Home, and 2nd place with $807.8 million. And in 1st place with $1,244.2 million, it's Team Movie Party. That's your Stream Team Movie Draft Minute. All totals are accurate as of July 10th, 2019.
All right. Dude.
Hey, we're number 5. We're number 5.
Yes. I think that we need to change a little bit on our strategy here.
Yeah, I think so too.
Here's the thing. We do exactly what we've done every year. We go in, we bid, we are absolutely certain that we are going to win or be in the top 2 for sure every year. And then we go bet every penny we have to our names against the movies we selected because they are all going to bomb. This is 2 years in a row.
I know.
That's why
we are the best at picking the worst.
Anything that I would be interested in seeing, I don't bid on. Unless it's to bid, up somebody else.
Maybe we should use the Clyde. Yeah, I think maybe we should try the Clyde method and just go bid for the ones that we don't like.
I mean,
no. You see,
I gotta say, go ahead.
See, this is the time where we implement dirty tactics. Every time we see something that Clyde wants, we bid just $1 more.
You promise?
No.
Oh.
Well, I gotta say,
because
I feel absolutely...
I will continue bidding until you guys are out of money.
I know.
See, I feel absolutely confident that this Hobbs and Shaw is going to do outstanding. I've seen the trailers. It looks great. I'm definitely going to go see it. I'm really excited about it. And I'm starting to feel a little bit like I'm Clyde. Like, I just suddenly know this movie is going to do horribly. We're going to get like $30 from it. The entire box office is going to be me and my friend or whoever I go with. And yeah, I'm starting to feel.
I think we'll get a legitimate. I think we'll get a legitimate shot at fourth, right?
Nope.
But yeah, I know they get.
I've been thinking that every week. It's like, well, maybe we get a legitimate shot at second. Okay, we definitely have a good shot at third. Now it's like, oh, we might pull off fourth.
Well, speaking of second and third, does Have a Drink have a chance to catch Ritual Misery?
They do not have any more movies left, so no.
No, they've been out of movies since months ago.
Ritual Misery is going to still make some more money using Spider-Man. And so basically it's down to Drunk Kids Gaming with Lion King. It's us with Fast and Furious. And in September 6th, plus 4 weeks, It Chapter 2, cap off the end. My God, it's just like insult on top of injury there. Come on, guys.
See, that was the only movie I went in saying, I absolutely need it. That was the only one that I was confident about.
Yeah. I don't know. It sounds really... that means you might actually bomb, right?
It's okay.
Yeah, okay. You don't need it.
I'm still going to enjoy it. I don't care if it does good. I'm just glad at it because I am super excited about it. I am super excited.
Okay. We'll see. Maybe it will be the exception that proves the rule.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. Well, next time we do the movie draft and we do the numbers. So I ran it the first year, and Jimmy, you ran it next year. Michael, do you want to run it this next time? You be the decision maker.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Why not?
Hey, you can't do any worse than what I did.
Next season, you can complain all you want because it will be your fault.
That's right.
All right.
All righty. Hey, why don't we get on over to some rants and raves? Rants, raves, what you guys got?
I have not had enough time to do anything entertaining this past week. This last weekend was the 4th of July, and I went to, every year we try to at least go to Seattle to a baseball game. We did, and Seattle actually won. That was actually fun. And other than that, it was just been a long couple of days. And after every day, one of these long trips was the day of recovery, which is a day I'd really basically sat with my eyes closed.
So they marinated their way to victory.
Exactly, that's what they are. They are the marinators.
Well, no, that's mariners marinate, right?
Yeah.
That's why they're mariner.
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh, is it because Mark Maron lives there? So they're fans of Mark Maron. They're mariners.
No.
No, he lives in Portland. Or no, he's in LA. I don't know.
So, but we have been watching The Code. We've been keeping up on that, even though I think it's been canceled. So this is it's for one and only season.
The Code. What is that one?
That's the Jag show. Yeah, it's actually pretty good. Although this last episode, there were several references to things that were way too A Few Good Men for me. Like there was a Private Santiago and a couple other things. You're like, really? You're gonna
There's never ever been anyone in the military with the rank of private and the last name Santiago outside of that movie.
Of course,
how dare they?
No, there were a couple things in that literally that it was like,
no,
really?
I'm on your side, dude. I'm like, how dare they?
Mm-hmm. I've also been watching just every once in a while on an episode of season 3 of Designated Survivor, and we're up to date on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I think there's one last episode left for the season, and that's the end of the whole thing. And this last one's not bad. I've been I like how they're gonna end this. Quite frankly, it looks like it's gonna work out well.
All right, rock on.
There's only a little bit of space stuff in the first part of it. You would only partially hate it, Clyde.
Okay.
Now, I'll second that. Designated Survivor. I'm still watching that third season as well. Very good. And it was on your recommendation, Matt, that I started watching that one. So this week, I did watch a Netflix movie. It's called I Am Mother, science fiction.
I've heard that's good. I want to see that.
It was pretty decent. It stars Hilary Swank and another young lady that I don't know if she's ever done anything else, but she did a pretty good job in this particular movie.
I've heard you really don't want to watch the trailer for that one. Because it ruins part of the show. Not all of it.
That's pretty much everything on Netflix. Yeah. Which is why they shove the trailer down your throat.
I can kind of see why somebody might say that, but I mean, in the first few minutes, you're going to know what the premise is anyway, right?
Okay.
So,
I just looked at this, and does anybody else see this robot from I Am Mother and see the head of the robot from Portal, which would be
GLaDOS?
GLaDOS. That looks like GLaDOS's head. I'm sorry. It really does.
I didn't think about that, but yeah, that one I did watch that one, and that one was pretty good. I watched it this past weekend, so if you haven't watched that one yet, I would recommend that. And something I wanted to rant about, or maybe I don't know if it's really a rant, it's more of a tip, I guess, more than anything, is that if you buy movies, if you purchase movies from Amazon, Google, iTunes, wherever you buy your movies at, right? That you should download those to your local hard drive somewhere, right? And keep those and back those up, right? And the reason why I say this is because these licensing deals change from time to time. So even though you buy it and it is up in the cloud and you can play it at any time, sometimes the licensing deals will change, and that what you bought may not be there, right?
Well, once you've purchased it, it should always be there. That should not be, because if you're buying it at the store now, if you're paying for Prime and you get to stream it for free, that's where the licensing should.
Well, that's different. I'm talking about you actually purchased the movie.
No, that's what I'm saying. Once you purchase it and you buy it, it doesn't matter if they pull it from the store. You already purchased it. It's in your library. It should not go anywhere. If
you have it downloaded, yes, you're right.
No. Even like Google or because Disney.
I wouldn't. What I'm saying is, I would not trust that, right? Because there's been people that's gotten burnt on that before.
Because I mean, there's a lot of precedents. Because like Google is very good with that. Because like there was that issue when Disney several years ago, Disney pulled their stuff out of all of the different marketplaces, and a lot of people lost their videos, but they were restored because they shouldn't have. So I mean, yeah, and some places don't give you the option to download it, but
right. I was about to say, which ones let you download?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
because I know if you buy it on Amazon, you can't download it. It lives in Amazon forever.
Right. But I mean, it does happen from time to time. I mean, if you search it on the web, you'll see where it does happen, right? Yeah. So what I would recommend is whenever you buy them, you download them, put them on a hard drive, and keep that backed up, right? That would be my recommendation, both for movies and TV shows. So just a hint there to do it. Don't always trust it to always be there.
Yeah, that's why I buy my DVDs and I rip them.
Well, that's even a safer way to do it, right?
Yep.
All right. Mike?
Yeah, well, as I mentioned, we talked a little bit about Spider-Man. So I went and I saw Spider-Man, and I went and saw Endgame. So I had family in town, so we were doing stuff together. So we went to see both of those movies, trying to avoid the summer heat here in Austin, which combine 100-degree temperatures with some humidity, and it's a little unpleasant at times. So we, Spider-Man was outstanding. Really enjoyed that. Very good. Highly recommend it. If you liked any of the Marvel movies, I think you'll like that one, especially if you like the first Spider-Man. This was similar vein, but in my opinion, even better and more enjoyable. So really good. Watched Endgame again. Had to try to contribute to it getting above Avatar because there's no reason for Avatar to be the highest grossing movie worldwide. I didn't buy enough tickets, apparently. I needed to spend another like $10 million in tickets.
Please do.
Yeah.
Already did.
I'd like to go back and do that, but unfortunately, I spent all my millions on the first bunch of tickets. It wasn't enough. And now my family is on vacation in Idaho, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to go with them.
Aww.
So I am still here working.
Hopefully,
But-
they'll send you back some fresh potatoes.
Yes. But the positive thing is, I was able to watch the first episode of season 3 of Stranger Things last night.
Oh,
So that was really good. I am very excited to continue watching that and see what else they have to offer because that was good.
It's been long enough that I forgot who almost all of the secondary characters were.
I usually
And
don't
I had
watch
to look it up.
Yeah, I watched the little like 3-minute trailer that shows you what happened in the first 2 seasons, and I was glad I did because I was like, oh yeah, I totally apparently forgot the entire plot of the whole season.
Yeah.
Now I remember it though.
Well,
so,
I mean, at the
great.
very beginning of the first episode at the pool, and it was like, okay, this lady and the lifeguard dude, it seems like I should know who they are, but I have no idea who these people are.
It took me a few minutes after, because even in the catch-up thing, like you see that guy, that dude, and I totally didn't catch who he was for a few minutes. And then after the lifeguard scene, I started to realize, oh, wait, now I remember this guy, because I had to see a little bit more of his character to remember that character and like who he was.
I had
and
to go to IMDb and look it up.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I really enjoyed it. It was really good. So, like I said, I'm looking forward to watching the rest of the season. Binge it here over the next week while the family's in Idaho. So,
two things that are definitely worth watching and are back. Number one was a show that most people probably never heard of, Final Space. It was a TBS show by Olin Rogers. It was awesome.
Final Space.
It is kind of like Archer meets Futurama. It's dark, kind of somewhat funny.
Like Space Ghost?
No, this is like an actual story. So,
I was just making a joke.
yeah. I am a huge Space Ghost fan, so Coast to Coast and Cartoon Planet, not original boring Space Ghost. But I've got all the Space Ghost Coast to Coast on DVD up on my shelf upstairs. I found them when I was unpacking. Haven't seen them in years. I forgot I had them. But it's back for season 2, and it's now also being shown on Cartoon Network, Adult Swim. So if you haven't watched it, you have the capability. Go back. The TVS app is free. You can watch stuff with commercials. Go watch the first season. It is totally worth it. It's got kind of some deadpan humor, some slapstick stuff, but it's very it's got a good sensibility. Also, speaking of space, the new season of Archer is awesome, and it is great. It is back to everything that I loved about Archer, while parodying so many different space tropes because they're in space this time. So,
of course.
definitely check it out. Worth watching. It is awesome.
I have one question.
Mm-hmm.
Do they make a Captain Archer joke?
Not yet.
Okay.
Although he claims to be the captain
Right.
over and over.
I'm just. So here's the truth. I have not seen very much of any Archers. It's just never caught on for my kind of thing. That doesn't mean it isn't funny. But Archer in space, you need to do a Captain Archer joke with Star Trek Enterprise
they've
joke. So.
They've made Star Wars, or they've made a lot of references. Some that I got. I've been told there are plenty of others that were like way over my head.
Does he like love his dog and feed it cheese?
Oh, he doesn't have a dog.
Okay, then no, not yet.
Not yet. So I don't know what a Captain Archer is, so I wouldn't know.
It's Scott Bakula.
Oh, from Enterprise.
Uh-huh.
It's been a long road. Okay.
Oh God, please.
That's all I know.
Don't sing the song.
I
know the song ruined the whole series. I understand. It was a good series. It ended poorly because they cut it quite early for some stupid reason. But yeah,
because the song would come on and people would change the channel.
And they changed the song for like the last season. They like
but
decided
by that
to
point,
like
nobody changed back.
No, it didn't get better. It got worse.
Oh no!
God, it's so bad.
All right. Well, on that disappointment, we should probably go ahead and wrap this up. So thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us. And thanks, guys, for joining me. If you're catching this after the fact, we are here live every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Central here on Twitch. And you should join us because the chat room is where all the fun happens. You get to submit titles. You get to tell us that we're wrong in real time.
And we'll believe you.
And yeah, you have the ability to steer the show potentially. So also, just a reminder, everybody, that July movie party is this Saturday, 10 p.m. Central. We are revisiting Team America because several people have not seen it. And also, Uncle Sam, I Want You to Die. So, we're going patriotic for July in the worst way possible. It's going to be awesome. Join us, as I went on saying. All right. Well, everybody, head on over to tvs.showbot.tv. Start voting on those titles, and we will see you in the post show.
Laters.
Bye.
Bye.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.